Hello, this is Reddithin, and welcome to GPC, Season 6, Week 4, week 4. Sorry, it's been a tough week. That's why this battle's up on Sunday. Don't tell the admins, but, it's okay. Rufus has my back, right, Rufus? Right, baby? You got me. Anyway, so yeah, I can't speak. Anyway, this week we went up against Melon and the Exeter Chief Electivires. We're 1-2 going into this week. Of course, the past 2 weeks, due to unfortunate circumstances, we unfortunately end up losing. Oh, get out of here! Tweet deck notifications. You didn't see that. Anyway, this is professional. This is professional. Grade A content right here, but anyway, where's it going? Oh yeah, we lost due to unfortunate circumstances, so trying to rebound back this week, so let's see if we can do that. But first, we must go into the team and see what I brought. First up, of course, we gotta bring Megazard's debut, after dropping Mega Venu on its ass pretty much because it sucked. But anyway, so yeah, this pretty much wrecked his entire team. Like, I can't even like put it lightly. Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz, and Earthquake, that combination just absolutely destroys him. The only thing that can really deal with it is the Rhydon if it's not the Rhydon if it has some health, and the Slowbro. And of course the Slowbro I can just set up on it because it can't really do all too much to me. But yeah, so I decided to run Adamant because I only needed enough speed to outspeed, oh god, what was it? It was to outspeed, max speed Heatran. Yeah, that was it, max speed Heatran. Timid, just enough to outspeed that. And then of course we got, Dragon Dance, and those 3 coverage moves, like I said. This actually should be max attack. I don't know why it isn't. I suppose I went into the battle not having max attack, but I don't know, but we don't have max attack. That's all I know. So but yeah, this thing was pretty much just meant to come in and clean up pretty much once he was weakened enough, or maybe once perhaps the Slowbro's gone. You know, who knows? Next up we have Celesteela. And this is a bit of an interesting set. This is actually enough special attack to 2-hit KO physically defensive Slowbro with Energy Ball, because Slowbro was really like my main concern with this team, because that was like the thing that pretty much stood in the way of Charizard being able to sweep. So yeah, we got the rest in HP and Spit Off, so it could take hits better from Slowbro or Clefable, or possibly even Heatran and Manectric to live hits from those. And yeah, pretty much just the coverage I need: Heavy Slam, Flamethrower, Energy Ball, and then I actually put Leech Seed here over Earthquake, and my reasoning for that was is that I had switch-ins for Heatran. You know, I had Zard could switch in, Tapu Fini could also switch in, and really I knew that I didn't really want to keep this thing in on Heatran anyway. I'd much prefer to get the Leech Seed off on the predicted switch rather than the Earthquake, because of course pretty much my entire team does have stuff to deal with Heatran anyway. Of course we got our Earth Power on Shaymin, and then we got Earthquake with Dugtrio, and we have Surf on Fini, and we also got Earthquake on Zard, so I wasn't really too much afraid of Heatran switching into this thing. I was just kind of, you know, I feel like my answer to Heatran should not be a Celesteela, so I was like, you know what, let's put in the Leech Seed on. Let's get my team a bit more recovery. I don't know, it just seemed like the better option in the end. Next up we have Weavile, and you know, this thing was pretty much just there for, I mean, of course it's really good. It stops Salamence from sweeping with Ice Shard, and it overall just does a lot of damage to his team. But I really just wanted this thing for Pursuit, because, like I said, Slowbro is the main problem, so if I could get a chance to get rid of the Slowbro, that would be fabulous. So that's why I had a Weavile out there. Next up we have Fini, and this is pretty much the same Fini I've been bringing. You know, Moonblast to Fog, Taunt, Surf. Taunt was so it could 1v1 Clefable, it could 1v1 Scissor, it could 1v1 Slowbro, it could 1v1 Heatran. Pretty much like a lot of his team relied on status moves, so and they were also slower than Phoenix, so I was like, you know what, let's just put a taunt on there. Then we got a Surf and Moonblast just because that hits his entire team, pretty much. It actually does hit his entire team, and actually hits a lot of his team super effectively, so it seems pretty nice to me. Next up we have Choice Banded, Adamant, Dugtrio, Earthquake, Sucker Punch, Stone Edge, and Memento. I know it's Memento, I just like saying Memento. This thing was for Heatran, pretty much because, of course, like I said, Heatran, it was another thing that could potentially stop Zard if it was like an air balloon set or something. And I didn't really want to deal with that, and also was a free switch, not really free switch into Celesteela, but like, it also was like the one thing that that could really do like a ton of damage to Celesteela, other than Manectric. Manectric also was another thing that can do a ton of damage to Celesteela. And Dugtrio chaps and kills both of those, so Dugtrio seems like a really nice fit on this team. We also got, pretty much Earthquake was like the only thing I really needed. I put Stone Edge on there for Mence, although we know history with Stone Edge is probably not the best, so I mean, I'm willing to give it a second chance, but really like his entire team. Oh yeah, and Azelf, and Azelf gets beat by Sucker Punch. So really, it's just like, I mean, Earthquake spam's really all I need. I didn't really need any more coverage other than these two, so I just slapped on Memento just in case it would give me a chance to set up with Zard pretty nicely. And finally, we have Assault Vest Shaymin. And this was actually my main switch into Manectric, because I noticed that I actually do have a bit of a Manectric weakness before Zard can Mega up. So I really wanted Shaymin to deal with that. And of course Assault Vest because it gets Flamethrower, so I really didn't want Flamethrower shenanigans happening. We got Seed Flare, Earth Power, HP Fire, and Giga Drain. Seed Flare is, you know, just a fantastic move. And then we just got Rest Coverage, Earth Power, of course, for Heatran. And then HP Fire for Tangela and Mega Scissor. And then I finally got a Giga Drain on there. I could have put on Dazzling Gleam for Mence, but I also knew that if Mence was out, leaving in Shaymin probably was not the best idea anyway, because Mence can live a Dazzling Gleam, and then just set up a Dragon Dance and do a bunch of stuff that I don't want it to do. And Feeny was really my dedicated switch into that anyway, so I just wanted to put Giga Drain just for a bit more sustain. And yeah, so that's the team. Let's go right into the battle now. Sorry if this is a bit jumbled. This is really late. This is like 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm sorry. But, so yeah, he pretty much brought, for the most part, not what I expected, actually. I expected the Manectric, Clefable, Slowbro, and Heatran. I figured all 4 of those were coming. However, the Rhydon and the Ambipom kind of caught me by surprise. I figured the Mence and the Scissor were coming for sure, because they're just really good mons. But yeah, he brought the Ambipom and the Rhydon, so I was kind of curious to see what they'd do. So anyway, he's going to lead off with Manectric, as I'm going to lead off with Feeny. I led with Feeny because I could have led off with Shaymin. However, I was kind of afraid of a lead Rocks Heatran set, and I don't really want him getting Rocks because I mean, I do have the defog on Feeny, but I mean, I don't like Rocks with Zard out there at all. So I wanted to minimize the chance of that as much as possible, and perhaps just able to either break the balloon on Heatran if it had it, or just wear it down. So yeah, Feeny was kind of my lead because there's a chance of him leading Clefable, which this 1v1's anyway. So just lead off the Manectric, which is a good lead for him because it's probably one of the more threatening things on my team as far as switch-ins go. But I'm just free to go into Shaymin here because I'm Assault Vest, and I can take anything, as he goes for the Flamethrower, which does a solid 31%, which is pretty nice. As Shaymin goes for Seed Flare, and it actually is a 2 KO on the Clefable, and I was not expecting that, so this shows me that this was a physically defensive Clefable. And so yeah, this thing just can't take 2 Sleet Fares, and one thing I noticed right off the bat when I was getting ready, or when I was trying to choose a lead, was that Melon absolutely has 0 Shaymin switch-ins. Like, he has nothing that could switch in on a Seed Flare. Because, of course, Heatran dies to Earth Power. And, of course, Rhydon and Rhydon, Slowbro both get O-Code, and I believe Magnetric and Ambipom actually possibly get O-Code too. And so yeah, he just really had nothing for Shaymin, as he's gonna lose Clefable early, which is really nice because now he doesn't have any more switch-ins for Weavile. So yeah, that was really nice. But he's gonna go into Ambipom here, and I know Ambipom, although it's a nice meme, it's also threatened Shaymin a lot. So I had no business keeping this in. So I'm actually gonna go into Feeny here. I didn't want to go into Celesteela because I know this thing can get gets elemental punches, and I didn't really want to, in case there was like something weird going on there, I didn't really want to deal with that. So I figured Feeny was my best switch in there, as he goes for the U-turn, which is pretty nice. As he goes back to Manectric, and I'm free just to go right back to Shaymin here. I know I should go into Dugtrio, as he does go for the Flamethrower, and I went into Dugtrio because I knew he could live a Flamethrower, judging by the damage on the Shaymin. I know, I decided to maybe kind of overpredict there. You know, I didn't really want to take Shaymin to take damage if it didn't have to. But, yeah. And here I will actually switch into the Shaymin, or into the Charizard, as he goes to Slowbro. And I did that because, I actually was scouting for the Scarf here. Because, at this point I didn't know what item it was. So either he goes for Scarf Flamethrower, or reveals he's like Shed Shell and he switches out, which actually reveals that he is the Shed Shell. So yeah, that was pretty nice. So and I figured Charizard wasn't a risky switch. I figured there was no way he was gonna go for a T-Bolt on a Dugtrio. If there's like, why would he do that? So it would just give me a chance to Mega Up. But here she goes in the Slowbro, and I didn't really want Charizard taking any damage. So I'm just going to go right into Shaymin, because Shaymin can take anything from this thing. And it predicts that and goes to Shaymin. He goes into Heatran. As I'm going to switch out into Greg, because I didn't know this. For all I knew, that could be Scarf or Shuka, Heatran. And like I said, I really did not want to lose this Shaymin because he had really no answer for it. But he actually switches out into Ambipom, which is good for me because I'm just going to get more Life Orb damage off. And I'm really just free to click Moonblast, because he actually doesn't have much for Moonblast, as the Slowbro is going to take quite a bit. And I'm just going to get a Taunt here, which is into the Manectric. And here I'm just going to go back into Shaymin, making the safe switch. He goes for the T-Bolt, predicting me to stay in or something there. But he's going to switch out here. It was just free to go for another Seed Flare. Wait, no, I go for the Earth Power. That's right. I should have just gone for the Seed Flare. At that point, though, like I said, I didn't know if Heatran was Scarfed or not. I didn't want to get trapped out there against like a Scarf Heatran. So I'm just going to go for the Earth Power and get the damage off if I can, as the Ambipom does not appreciate that at all. As this time I'm going to go into Celesteela, because I figured this thing pretty much was just going for Fake Out and U-turn. So Celesteela was safe. As he goes into Heatran here, as now I'm just going to go into Feeny here, as he goes for the sub, and here I figured, you know, this thing was sub, so I know it wasn't choiced, and this thing only had 3 attacks, and I figured the 3 attacks were Earth Power, a Fire move, and something else. And since I noticed his Zmon, and he had sub, and he set up the sub well knowing I had a Feeny, I figured there was no way this thing was not running Bloom Doom with the Gracium, or Solar Beam with the Gracium Z. So I'm just gonna make the super safe switch here actually into a Charizard, as he does reveal the Bloom Doom. So that was really nice. So now he can't really touch Feeny at all, as I'm just gonna Dragon Dance, and I'm not gonna Mega Up because I know that he could have the Earth Power, and I don't want to give him that. So here I'm just gonna go for the Earthquake right on. And here's actually where I believe the not having Max Attack hurt me, because had I been Max Attack, I think that the Earthquake plus Mega-ing up and getting the Earthquake off would have killed this right on. But it doesn't. So I'm forced to switch out here into Greg, as he goes for the Rock Polish. However, I wasn't really afraid, because the worst thing it could do is Thunder Punch. So, which, I mean, Feeny is maximally defensive. It'll eat that up any day. As he actually does switch out here into the Slowbro as I go for the Surf. And here, I predicted him to predict the Taunt, actually. It seemed pretty obvious to me, so I thought he was either going to go for, like, the Psyshock or something. So I didn't really bother going for Taunt, or he was going to switch out, I mean. So I didn't really bother going for the Taunt, but he actually just goes for the Toxic, which is my Feeny gets toxic, which is probably the first time you'll ever see that. First and last time you'll ever see that. As I'm going to go into Jose here. As I'm actually going to go for the knockoff here. He reveals he is Colbur Berry. I knew there was a chance of him being Colbur Berry, but what you going to do? This is really my only real play at that point. Because I didn't want Shaymin being knocked into a flamethrower range from Manectric. I guess I could have. I suppose I could have gotten Celesteela there, but I don't know. That probably wasn't the best play. I was playing a little recklessly at this point because I had the upper hand, and I was I don't know. When I get the upper hand, I tend to play a little more recklessly, so that was probably my bad. But Zay does reveal the Drain Punch with crits, which I believe that did matter, which is a bit unfortunate, but doesn't really matter. As I'm just gonna go for the Giga Drain there. As I now know Heatran is not it cannot take an Earth Power. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, because he really had nothing to do, nothing he could do there. And now he literally has 0 grass move switch-ins. So he's going to go into Ambipom here, as I'm going to go back into Feeny as he clicks U-turn. And goes back into the Manectric at this point. And here I just leave Feeny in, because of course I did not want Shaymin taking flamethrower damage. I didn't really want to risk losing Dugtrio, so I'm just going to let Feeny go down at this point because I really don't need it that much anymore. I'm just going to play it a bit safe. As I'm going to go to Charizard here because I can't actually touch Charizard. As a Volt Switch is out into the Slowbro as I go for the Dragon Claw. And here, I completely forgot that I had Misty Terrain up, and since Slowbro is grounded, it actually takes less damage from Dragon Claw. During prep, I probably should have realized that and not had a Dragon Claw, had something else on there maybe, but or like a Thunder Punch or something. So that was dumb. But I mean, yeah. So Slowbro takes absolutely nothing from that Dragon Claw, and I'm just gonna go into a Celesteela here because it can take anything from this thing, as he doesn't get the burn, thankfully. As I'm free to just go for the Energy Ball because he really doesn't have anything to switch into that. Actually, here I do double into Shaymin. As I actually was predicting the Manectric to come in, because I think it could live in Energy Ball. But no, I'm just gonna go back to the Charizard. I'm actually gonna just sack Charizard at this point because I will have like no more chance to set up. As now I'm gonna Dugtrio and just KO this thing with a Sucker Punch. So now his Shaymin check is gone. So Shaymin is pretty much free to just run free at this point. As here I'm gonna switch out because of course I'm locked into a Sucker Punch because I'm banded. He's gonna set up again, but Celesteela really just doesn't care. As just eats up that Fire Punch and takes it out with the Energy Ball. Uh-oh. And here at this point, I knew that this was GG at this point. Because this thing, without barring a crit, can't Oko Shaymin, and then Shaymin just takes out Slowbro. Because I can just free to just spam a Giga Drain. However, I do decide to leave Celesteela in, and that's because Celesteela at this point, I wouldn't really need it anymore because I just have Shaymin in the back to deal with Slowbro anyway, and I figured in case he overpredicts and actually goes for the Flamethrower, predicting one of these two and predicting me to choke, because I figure that was his play. Then Celesteela just wins anyway because it can take a Flamethrower, and that's exactly what he does. So as Celesteela is with 4%, and just gonna clean up here at this point. And yeah, so Celesteela taking everything out, and yeah, so we get a win, which is really nice. So back-to-back wins on this channel, and really important since I dropped my last 2 games. So we're back to 500 and right back in it. So yeah, important win. Next week we face Gareth and the probably gonna butcher the name, but the Passimianges. I think that's how it's pronounced. If it's wrong, please correct me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. This has been Redithin, and I will see you next time. And goodbye.